It's amazing how one little change in Football Manager can change your fortunes so much. Sometimes there's just an issue that you don't quite spot right away, you address it, and things start to go to plan. That is what has happened since you were last here. Now, you might be wondering, Jack, was it your tactics? Was it your training? No, it was actually an individual. And I don't want to blame an individual. That feels harsh, doesn't it? To point the finger at one person and go, it's your fault. But Jacob Wood, it absolutely bloody is your fault that we've struggled this year. Our 22-year-old goalkeeper was our goalkeeper last year. I was looking through all the stats trying to work out where are things going wrong for me. And then I found this. He is the worst goalkeeper in the league by a mile. His average save percentage is 53%. To put that in comparison, the average in the league is around 75%. The best in the league is 81%. The reality is that if we faced 10 shots on target, we were conceding 5 of them as goals. The teams at the top of the table with the better goalkeepers, they were conceding 2 goals for as many shots. Now, obviously, it doesn't distill quite as simply as that, but I brought in a new goalkeeper. I broke the budget to do it. Preston Edwards, former Millwall man, has joined us as a goalkeeping coach and goalkeeper. He's played 7 games. He's only conceded 7 in those 7, a clean sheet as well, and an average rating of 7.14. This man is incredible for this level. This man is going to turn our season around. I'm calling it now. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back to Park to Prem, here with 3 Bridges. It is New Year's Eve, and before our players go out on the lash, go and get very drunk, we have a game to take on today, and that is against Faversham. I've said Faversham a few times. People have told me it's Faversham. I'm sorry. The English language is dumb, isn't it? Like, you never know how to say anywhere unless you're from there. We're taking on Faversham. They're in 17th, but the headline here is we are in 14th. Yes, when I left things last time, we were struggling and we were not doing very well. But you can see we've really built up our form. We've actually been as high as 11th. For right now, we sit down in 14th, as I already mentioned. However, if we just look at the league table here, despite being what appears to be a long, long way away from the playoff spots, you can see we are currently 7 points ahead of the team in 17th in Faversham, who we take on today in the relegation zone. We are only 5 points away from the playoffs. It is ridiculous how close this league is in the middle. You've got a massive amount of teams. In fact, almost half the league, or no, more than half the league is separated by less than 10 points. It's crazy. And somehow I feel like we can hunt down a playoff spot. Now, maybe that's delusion kicking in a little bit. As I mentioned, we've got Faversham. We're also going to do the game against Hastings United, who are in 5th. They are on the cusp of the playoffs right now in 5th place. If we can beat them, that really is a signal of intent. Now, I'll level with you, this is quite a shock to see in terms of the amount of green on the fixture screen. I don't think I've seen this much green in a year and a half here at 3 Bridges. I say a year and a half. We're actually coming up to our first year in charge, of course, even though it is a year and a half into the save game. Since you were last here, we have played 7 matches, all in the league. Of course, we're out of all the cup competitions now. No more distractions. We've played really, really well. The first game since you were last here was against Herney Bay, and we won this one relatively convincingly. Some questionable goalkeeping led to Gaylor scoring one of the more simple long shots he's going to score all year, but a long shot nevertheless. They did pick us back not long afterwards, though, just before the half-an-hour mark. A crazy long shot deflected, and Mackenzie got in the rebound. Not going to blame Edwards in goal for that one. However, from there, we kicked on, and in the last 20 minutes, we grabbed a quick double. Gaylor with the assist from a corner. Who else was it going to be? And then another cross into the box, this time from a throw-in, went to the back post. Jack Daldy was there. Let me tell you now, Jack Daldy is a man possessed. He is a man on fire. Yeah, he's got 9 goals in 20 in the league now, 14 in 25 in all competitions. Been in a really hot streak of form as of late. And to be fair, that, I suppose, applies to the entire team. They've all been playing very well. Now, the next game was against Eastbourne Town. Of course, Eastbourne Town, a team who knocked us out the cup. When we left things last time, they were in 2nd place, so I wasn't going into this expecting a lot. Turns out, I should have expected a lot. We went down in this game, and we fought back superbly to win 4-1. You can see here as well, it wasn't even a fluke. We dominated possession, an XG of 2. Really good performance. Good to see Gallimore get on the score sheet. He has been doing that slightly more frequently as of late. Still only 4 in 17 isn't incredible, but his average rating doesn't look too bad. And to be fair, he is slowly but surely coming into his own. And if between him and Jack Daldy, every 5 games, they can score 4 goals. We will win more and more matches this year. Unfortunately, the little run of wins that we were putting together got cut short as we took on Burgess Hill. Burgess Hill currently top of the league and running away with things, to be honest. They are 7 points clear at the top, doing very, very well. In this game against them, we only lost 2-1. It was not a bad team display, and you know what? They probably deserved to win it on the balance of play, but it was one of those ones where it just continued to give me hope and optimism that we were going to be able to, well, string together some good results. And string together some good results we have, because since then, 4 games played, and we are unbeaten. The first of these was against Cray Valley Paper Mills. You may remember us taking them on last year. In this game, bit of an inspired performance, really. We went down just before half-time, and I feel like a couple of months ago, we would have wilted in that situation. You know, that would have knocked the stuffing out of us. After a good first half to concede, we would have just faltered. However, that wasn't the case. Jack Daldy, really good finish, tucked into the bottom corner. And about midway through the second half, we took the lead in this game, a lead that we would ultimately hold on to. And I believe it was Gallimore. Well, yeah, it was Gallimore. Took it into the bottom corner. Good confident finish by him. I feel like he and Jack Daldy slowly getting a little relationship going as a strike partnership. So going into the month of December, we drew our first game 0-0 against Carl Charlton. Wasn't a classic game. Neither team played particularly well. The next game against Athletic Newham, we won 3-1. They did have a sending off in this game, which made our job a little easier in the dying stages of this game. But again, similarly to the previous match that we won against Cray Valley, we were down at half-time. We came back from behind. You can see by the XG and the overall stats, we were the better team. Edwards in goal, getting a 7.4. Who would have thought just having a goalkeeper who can stop the shots on target would make a difference? Unbelievable. Someone should have let me know sooner. Most recently, we took on Chatham Town. We took the lead in this game through a penalty. Then we conceded in the 93rd minute. Yeah, look, we might have turned a slight corner. There is still the bottling DNA that exists here at Three Bridges. This was disappointing, but all in all, a great run of results. And well, that leads us into today's game, where we have the team at our disposal. You can see it in front of you here. There are actually a couple of players that have come into the team since your last year. I'm really impressed. Of course, Edwards, the goalkeeper, we've bigged him up. I want to big him up some more. He's on a contract to the end of next year. I really feel like he is a fantastic signing for us. The only real reason he wanted to join us is because I was willing to make him a goalkeeping coach. Now, you might be wondering, Jack, is he a good goalkeeping coach? He's a better goalkeeper than he is a goalkeeping coach. We'll say that much. Elsewhere in the team, though, a couple of other players have really come into the fray as of late. You can see I've switched the fullbacks to be wingbacks in the past month or so. At left back, with that change, we've started to play Tommy Barrelmore. This man is in on loan from Aldershot Town. If we just compare him to Joe Kay, who is the player who did start for us really at left back to start the year, you can see the head-to-head comparison. Barrel is just definitely a little bit better going forward, has a better first touch, better with the ball at his feet. Perhaps mentally not quite as good, but I think all in all, he is the better player. Truth be told, both fullbacks, both on the left and right side, have really struggled for good average ratings, no matter who I've put there. But as of late, I've gone through a Barrel phase. And out on the right-hand side, we have Kiesel Braithwaite, the Barbadian youngster you might remember. Still not capped for Barbados. There will come a day where this man gets called up for their national team, and I'm annoyed that he's not available for selection. But that day isn't here just yet. He's not been incredible in his recent run of games, but at the same time, as I mentioned, no one has been, so he's going to start there for us today. So let's get into this game. This is one that, had I been playing immediately after last episode, I would have been crapping myself about. Away from home against a relegation rival, but given our recent form, I really back us to win this quite convincingly. As I mentioned, the goalkeeping issue, I didn't really realise was as big an issue as it was. I should have noticed it sooner. If your goalkeeper's saving just over 50% of the shots he faces, that is fundamentally a problem, and that is a problem that no amount of tactical tinkering or anything is going to solve. What I do appreciate is with this series, obviously, this year's not been going amazingly. There's been lots of people kind of trying to offer solutions and advice in the comment section when it comes to tactics and stuff. I think what this proves is sometimes the simplest solution is just the obvious one. And, well, Gallimore also finding some form is quite nice. The biggest earner at the club, that might be the first time he's ever scored in a live commentary. I don't remember this happening before. This is unfamiliar. It was a nice little goal, actually. Jones, the man with no vowels in his name, except Y, which is sometimes a vowel, gave it to Gallimore, turned his man the number 10, tucked it into the bottom corner. And as I mentioned, Gallimore and Dowdy, they are top quality strikers for this level. They should be scoring for fun. They have finally started to start scoring for fun. And, well, we could have another highlight here. It's Gallimore out in the wide area. Maybe he's going to turn assist to Dowdy. Heads it, hits the crossbar again, and the keeper catches it. I don't know how that didn't end up in the back of the net. Okay, 30 minutes into this game. We're building out from the back from a goal kick. I'm hoping here we're going to be able to craft out another opportunity. We've been on top in this game, although they have come into it a little bit more just in the last 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to be Braithwaite, who's waiting for his Barbados call-up, who gives it inside. It's now with Dowdy in the wide area. He's going to dink it towards Gallimore, who already has one. Maybe should have had a second there. He heads it over. Barrel at left back on a yellow card scares me a little bit. You know, he's a bit young. He's in on loan from Aldershot, perhaps naive. Hopefully he's going to be well behaved here. As well, we knock the ball around convincingly. Barrel and Barnett just having their own little game on this near. So no one else is allowed the ball. Lads, give it to someone else. Give it to... Okay. I guess we're just going to watch them pass back and forth forever. Barrel to Barnett. I mean, if nothing else, we're inflating their passing percentage numbers, aren't we? Nice build-up play. Gallimore. Gaylor hits it from range. Oh, my word. It's probably a contender for goal of the season from Gaylor. But what's new? What's new? I feel like what made this one nice was actually the patient build-up play. And then we kind of flicked a switch, got the ball up quickly. And that was really, really nice. Jones to Gallimore, the goal scorer of the first goal, turning provider. Gaylor picks his spot, wraps his foot around it. I mean, you just expect it every episode now, don't you? That he's going to score one like that. It's 2-0. We deserve it. I'm very happy. So at half-time, really dominant display here. One of these performances that we've seen fairly frequently as of late. You're doing brilliantly. Keep it going. One thing I am a little bit concerned about is the fact that Barrel at left-back's on a booking. There is a temptation to take him off. I might even do that after this highlight plays out. But we'll see what happens first as Dos Santos on the near side crosses it in. It's headed away from danger. Gaylor takes it down. Gallimore is up there. Unfortunately, can't pick him out, Gaylor, but he might get another chance here. And Gallimore, he's clean for on goal. He's already got one this game. Can he double his goal tally for the match? Of course he can. Jones actively involved in the goal yet again. He's been absolutely essential at centre mid for us. We make it 3-0. And this is a new Three Bridges, everyone. I know some of you enjoy my suffering. I know some of you enjoy it when everything goes wrong and I'm eating ice cream in a puddle by the end of the video. But not today. For a new team, Gallimore's got the armband on and I'm happy as Larry. 3-0 and we absolutely deserve it. So I have just made one sub. I brought in O'Neill at left back. I was getting nervy about the yellow card. So let's be sensible. O'Neill, good goal scorer. Maybe not quite as good at defending. And, well, there is a dose of our old defending. They've scored to make it 3-1. Their player there has just scored his 20th goal of the season. Faversham are in the relegation zone and they have a man who scored 20 goals for the year. Maybe my whole ethos about just getting loads of good goal scorers doesn't work anymore in Football Manager in the lower levels. Maybe it's just, you know, not a thing. I'm a little bit nervous now that if they get another, we're in danger. But let's remain positive. Dowdy is through. He should score this. He probably won't. Gallimore's in the middle. Probably should have squared it. Definitely should have squared it. Barnett wide to O'Neill. On off the bench, of course, O'Neill. A man known for his goal-scoring escapades. He can play centre mid. He can play left wing. He can play left back. We have him on the bench for games like this. And, well, Dowdy, have a go this time. Have a go this time. He's finally scored. I'll forgive him for the miss just a moment ago. It's 4-1. We reinstate the 3-goal lead. And I'll just say what I said before. We're bloody brilliant now. This is a new Three Bridges. Building it out from the back. Jones to Gaylor. Dinks it over the top. I mean, Gaylor's sensational, isn't he, at centre attacking mid. Dowdy with a confident finish. 5 minutes left here. This end of game really has kind of fizzled out into nothingness, but a great team performance. And, well, with this 4-1 win away from home, we're going to move very far clear of the drop. What a win. What a performance. I absolutely love that from us, lads. Well, with that, we are going to become, I hope, a mid-table team. Look at that. I think we're in the top half, technically. That might be the first time we've been in the top half ever. And, well, we are now only 4 points away from the playoffs. That because Hastings United, who we take on in our next game, just drew 0-0 against East Grinstead Town, who you might remember were bottom. They are currently performing the Great Escape. They're up to 16th. We make it 5 games unbeaten. Gallimore, the big earner, finally justifying the big bucks. 2 goals, 1 assist. We've got a week until our next game. I'll see you guys for that in a moment. It's at home. We're taking on Hastings. I'm ready for a battle. See what I did there? Battle of Hastings? Yeah, okay, move on. Okay, gang, game number 2. We're taking on Hastings United. No messing around. Yes, it's January, of course. For us, that doesn't actually mean anything. In any other save game, I'd be talking about the transfer window swinging open. The reality is, we have no money. We have no one really to bring in. No one who I'm eyeing up at the very least. And we are currently over the wage budget with the addition of Edwards. But to be honest, with the current team, I'm relatively happy. The squad is going to be tested just a little bit today because Blackham is out suspended at centre-back. What that means is Artemi, who has recently had a pretty extended run at defensive mid, is going to slot in at centre-back for us today. I'll be honest, he's quite a simple man. He can kind of defend and do nothing else. So let's hope he can do his one thing that he's good at today. He's going to slot in alongside Barnett. That means that Jerling is going to come in at centre defensive mid. This is someone who I signed towards the start of the summer. I don't even know if he's featured in an episode or if I've even talked about him. Bit of a squad player. He's played 7 games on off the bench, 1 start. He's just a slightly more defensively minded centre mid with really, really average physicals, but at least they're kind of well-rounded. And 17 natural fitness, 13 determination, and good teamwork and work rate should really mean that he's a good little engine, I'd hope, at least, in the centre of the midfield for us. So Hastings United actually come into this game having only, I think, won 1 of their last 7 games in all competitions. Of course, they are towards the top of the table. They were in the playoffs quite comfortably. They've since obviously just dropped out. That said, they should provide some pretty good opposition, but at home, with our recent form, if I'm deadly serious about us making the playoffs this year, this is just a game we have to win. So 23 minutes into this game, finally we have a highlight. Unfortunately, that highlight involves us giving away the ball all too simply, and now it's going to be with Osadebe bringing it forward, hits it over the bar. Not many fans in attendance today. I'm going to assume they're all just cowering from the rain in the gazebo. That's what I'm going to tell myself. The reality is we don't have very many fans. I don't know if I've mentioned it. 25 season ticket holders this year. Didn't change from last year. I hoped we might attract some new fans staying up. Hasn't happened. In fact, the attendances have been pretty bad. Maybe our form is to blame for that. And, well, maybe Edwards is to blame for our good form, because that's a save Wood doesn't make. Those are saves that were going in previously, those kind of efforts. I'm bigging him up loads. Now we need to deal with this corner before I can big up Edwards too much in goal. But a really good stop keeps us in it. Unfortunately, we're straight into another highlight here, and it's going to be Harding with it, whipping it back post. O'Neill takes it down, gives it to Artemi. Worth noting, O'Neill sliding in at left back today as part of just a little bit of rotation going on. And, well, there's men on ahead of him, including Gallimore, who's on a booking, but I'm going to hope he doesn't get sent off. Hopefully he can be well behaved and put in a performance like he did last game. He was sensational against Faversham. Jones, O'Neill, Derling on a booking kind of scares me for him as a defensive midfielder, but hopefully he can be well behaved as we knock the ball around nicely, and then Gallimore sledgehammers it home into the bottom corner. And from them having a great opportunity at one end where they probably should have scored the one-on-one, we've gone straight up the other end, and in a matter of minutes, we've taken the lead here. Lovely little bit of build-up play, passing it through the middle. In the end, the ball found its way to Gallimore, who still had a lot to do. 1 touch to get it out of his feet, hits it second time. Keeper can't get there. And, well, we're in the lead. We're looking good. As things stand, we are about to move 2 points away from the playoffs. Of course, games can still change. This game could still change. We could end up closer, but, I mean, fundamentally, we are in, dare I say, a playoff race at this point. Am I allowed to say that? Am I getting carried away? Let's see out this result first before we say anything, because they've created the better of the opportunities. Very nearly scored there. Harding's header just over the bar, but at the break, it's 1-0. We've been second best today, but we've got a goalkeeper who's actually keeping us in it. O'Neill at left back to Gallimore. Plays it to Thompson. Players through the middle. Gaylor's one of them. Falls to Jack Dowdy. 1-on-1. Should score. Doesn't score. Hits the post and goes just wide. There's the Jack Dowdy we know. I'm kind of surprised he scored the 1-on-1 that he had last that match, if I'm being completely honest. Goal kick for Matthews here. 25 minutes left. Maybe I should think about making some subs, but we'll let this highlight play out first before we make any rash decisions, as it is going to be Hastings bringing the ball forward. Braithwaite misses his header, but the good news is there was no one stood behind him. So he's able to give it to Edwards, who's going to clear it upfield for Dowdy to maybe flick on the way of Gallimore. Can't win it, and now Harding coming up the other end for them. Difficult chance, hits the crossbar. I'll tell you what, it was a difficult chance. It was a very, very good effort. Hits the crossbar, spins out for a goal kick. 20 minutes left here. Let's make some changes. Derling on a booking concerns me a little bit. I'm going to bring in Osu, and I'm also going to bring in Isaac at centre mid, just to try and get some fresh legs in, and also take off 2 players on bookings. Braithwaite's currently on a 6.1 and on a yellow card. So you know what? We'll take him off as well for ball at right back. Maybe a bit of a gamble to make all our subs at once, but ultimately, I don't want to go a man down in this kind of game here. It's been a a tightly fought game. What I would say is we have definitely played better in this second half, despite the lack of highlights. And with 4 minutes left here, can we hold on for what would be a very, very big win? Time is trickling away. We're going to get the win. Wasn't a classic second half, but you know what? After some of the drama we've had in recent episodes, I don't mind a nice, calm 1-0. Another clean sheet as well. We haven't had too many of those. I think that is Edward's second clean sheet since he joined the club in 9 games. With it, we are up to 9th. We are only 3 points behind Lancing, who are in 5th. You might remember Lancing were in the relegation zone not that long ago, a team who were battling with us towards the bottom of the table last year. And finally, I do feel like the signings that I made this year are starting to have a meaningful difference. We have won 2 in 2 today, and yeah, we're on the up. So with that, we have made it 6 unbeaten. We look exceptional. As I mentioned, the hunt for the playoffs really is on. If you're wondering in terms of goals and assists and stuff, are any of our players leading the way anywhere? Well, Gala has the 3rd best rating in the league in terms of average rating. He has the most assists with 10 as well. A lot of those come from open play. You'd be quite surprised. And also Josh Thompson, a man who I've not talked about a great deal, the centre mid. 8 assists, 2 goals, 21 appearances, a 7.22 average rating. In on loan from Nuneaton Borough. I kind of want to extend his loan for another year, but because his contract expires at the end of the year, I can't do it. Big fan of his, kind of player who I'd love to keep on going into next year, because for our level, he is a very, very good centre mid. But anyway, gang, that is going to wrap up everything from us today. Look at that manager performance. We're on an A+. Things are going well. For those of you who like pain and suffering, maybe today wasn't quite as fun. For everyone else who enjoys the ride, do drop a like on it. It helps out the channel massively. We are beyond the halfway point in the season. In fact, how many games are there left of the season? There is only 15 games left. So we're in the playoff fight, I'd like to believe. In terms of when we're going to be back next time, I don't know. I'm going to see how the league table plays out, see how the balance of play is looking. It might be that we go forward to kind of end of February, start of March. Ultimately, I feel like this is a season now which will either fizzle out into mid-table mediocrity, or maybe we can really start to make that playoff push and that playoff kick. I feel like when you look at our recent form, there's no reason why we can't believe it will be the latter. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. And until then, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.